Mic check, man. Y'all know the face, y'all know the name. Y'all tuned into the world's greatest podcast. No, I don't just say it because it sounds lit when I say it. No, I don't just say it because it looks lit on the shirt. I actually dead mean it. You're tuned into Talk Ain't Cheap podcast, hosted by yours truly, Mr. S. Muy Clear Real Talk. I got special guests with an S with me. I usually don't even have guests, but I got guests with me. But you know, y'all know how this go right now. My guests, go introduce yourselves. I don't introduce people. I feel like I shortchange them when I try to introduce them. So you know, we could go left to right, right to left, whoever feels comfortable.
To God be the glory. This is Schwartzen Precil. Blessed to be a part of this podcast once again, man. It's always an honor to be in the presence of just King Energy. I'm an entrepreneur. First and foremost, I'm a child of God, a man of faith, I'm an entrepreneur, award-winning author, professional athlete, professional basketball player, and more importantly, I'm just a man on a mission, man. To God be the glory. So, here with my brothers.
Hey, my name is Jason Shoneyin. How y'all doing? Grateful to be a part of this podcast. I'm a musician. I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm just here sitting in the presence of kings, you know what I'm saying? We like my brother Schwartzen said, we on a mission. We on a mission to change the world, like, for the better. Our vision is to really make an impact and a difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Anthony, Big Onyxx, you know what I'm saying? Hey, entrepreneur, author, basketball trainer, therapist. I do it all. I'm with my brothers here. I'm happy to have Cletus here with me, letting me get on this podcast. I'm just grateful to be here with my brothers. We're here to change the world, make an impact. It's just a start, though. This is 2022, our first start together. It's going to be a great year. I'm just grateful to be here, man, for real.
I love it. So I guess we can start off, what is F.B.F?
Yeah. So we are F.B.F. We're all co-founders of F.B.F., which is the Forgotten Brothers Foundation. We came together and realized that there was a gap in the market for brothers like ourselves who are very successful in each and one of our fields in leadership and marketing and entrepreneurialism, and realize, who came back for us? Who kind of showed us the way? Why we had to do the things that we had to do and not have help along the way. So we decided we wanted to partner up, bring all our brands together. We each have successful businesses and want to come together and want to show kids, specifically those who are impoverished, those who don't have access to entrepreneurial education, and those who don't have the means to have positive influence in their lives to do the right thing, to go and develop character skills, to go and develop leadership. We had an event in my home church, ICC, where I seen my brothers just kill it to show that they have gifts and talents that, fortunately for me, I did leave, but they stayed on Staten Island, and to see them just kill Staten Island, kill them in a good way. Just to bring the essence of leadership and entrepreneurialism to a place that I call home was very important. It was impactful for me to see them just again do what it is that we always wanted, which is be a positive role model, be a good influencer, do the right thing for others. So at the end of the day, that's what we're about. That's our mission. That's our vision. That's what we want to come and continue to do, not just here in Staten Island, but all across the nation, all across the globe.
I like it. So where did that come from? Like, what made you all come together and be like, let's just, let's unite and let's build this? Because, sometimes it's very tough to have a community, especially when you have different egos, different, goals, aspirations, etc. So how did you guys come together and actually unite to want to do this?
Technically me, Schwartzen, we were already doing stuff together. Jason was always my brother, but we never were in business together. Me and Schwartzen, we were training together. We were actually, working to try to get our own facility, a basketball facility. I have a group of friends, but I was like the only person that I would bring into this circle. I remember I was telling Schwartzen, it's Jason. That's the only other brother I would bring into this. And
why is that?
Because me and Jason go way back, and Jason's serious. He has a business called First Class Help, and the way he runs his business is how I want my business ran. And he's focused and determined. We all have similar mindsets. We don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't party. So that's something that I feel like all three of us, our minds together as one, it's very powerful. So like the only person I'll also bring in with us is Jason. And there was a time, I was going through I was just going through life stuff, and Jason came over, check up on me, and he put on what's his name, TD Jakes. And that night, I was like, I looked at Jason. I said, yeah. I called Schwartz. I same night. I said, bro. I said, yo, we need Jason on part of the team, man.
No question.
No question.
I said, no question.
Yeah, I said, he's like, you trust him, I trust him. And then, because they never had a relationship like that. We went to high school together, but I was connected to Schwartz and I was connected to Jason. So this relationship between them actually just started through F.B.F.
Yeah.
Facts.
And, we're growing, we're learning to trust each other and trying to get things done as a unit, as brothers. And that's basically how it really came along, to be honest.
That's dope. That's very dope. So, Jason, tell me more about our First Class Help and what made you want to start that kind of business.
First Class Help was started during the pandemic. I saw a need in the market for unemployment. And I decided to, and actually getting unemployment for myself and seeing how difficult the process was, I was like, yo, there's probably other people that need help with the same thing. So I was like, while everybody's doing it one way, you know which way everybody was doing it.
PPP, sewing, scamming.
I said,
unemployment fraud.
I said, let me do it the other way, because I believe like whatever sustainable has to be done the right way. If you want something sustainable, like why would I scam somebody out of $15K when I could possibly help them get $15K, take a cut, and still do business with them in the future? But we don't think like that as a community. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it really started, the foundation. And to be very honest with you, it started as in just bringing income in for myself. But then I realized that there's actually really people in need, bro, and there's really people that need help out here. And I saw that maybe this is bigger than just making money. Like, let me really empower people and figure out how can I change somebody's mindset? How can I show them the way, show them how to be an entrepreneur? And that's where that passion started kicking in for me. Yeah,
I love it.
And then even just connected with them too. They already doing big things. So one thing I realized in life is you can't do anything alone. You try to do it alone, you're going to be taking years to get to your destination. So getting together with great minds, you know what I'm saying, and putting it in one unit, it's just made me realize how fast and far we can actually go.
I love that. They always say if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with others. Right. So how'd you guys develop some kind of trust? Because for me, one of the biggest issues I have is not, I want to say an issue that I don't trust people, but it's very hard to find like-minded individuals that work together on a team. Like when it comes to like developing a team of people and personalities, it's very hard sometimes to develop that in a way that is cohesive and works and people understand their positions. It takes a lot of time sometimes to develop that chemistry. So how did you guys go through it, and what are some of the growing pains that you guys felt, experienced in this process?
I guess I go to first. Yeah, I'll start it off and let y'all. Yeah, well, we started this in January of this year, January 2020. So
so still fresh.
We're relatively fresh. We're still young, but we're mature in our business minds. It took some argument, let's just get that out. I did came in
a lot of ego and pride.
A lot of
everybody.
Ego, but
it is what it is.
Yeah, we had to, and you got to be willing to go through that.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to grow through that.
Yeah.
The process is not going to be pretty all the time, and so. Me and Ant always had trust. I didn't know Jason, so I had a big ego when it came to Jason. I said something. I said, who gonna carry my casket? And, I'm like,
I didn't carry a casket.
You can carry your own casket. Carry your own casket.
We gonna do business. You know what I'm saying? That's what the game is. 50 talk about this and work harder, work smarter. He talk about the game. And he talk about the street game. So I'm a kid from the streets in the city, Staten Island, and so that's how I did business. It's blood in, blood out. And you shouldn't put your friends in those kind of positions. At the time, Jason wasn't my friend like that. But we established trust because I knew we had a common denominator, and that which is Ant. If Ant said he can carry his casket, well, God willing, I'm willing to do the same thing when it comes to that. And of course, it's a hyperbole, when it comes to carrying caskets, but I want to make my point known. I want to make my point known. Can he be trusted? Yeah. Is this someone that, if the business falls, he'll still be able to carry his weight in his time? Because, again, Ant had a great relationship with Jason, and I trust Ant with my life. He's always been there. He's never backstabbed me, which is very rare in our day and age, and it's rare to have friendships and brotherhoods like that. If he said it's good, then it's good, and I'm in for it, and I'm willing to do and work with him. And we just went to our own first networking event together. He killed it. He rocked it. He reminds me of my older brother. Shout out to Trevette. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of fire for it, and so I'm like, hey, it's good. I knew Ant was good. Me and Ant go way back. It was good. But Jason, that was the establishment of a brand new friendship that I knew I was willing to trust and put my all into.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that if you want to start a team, it's important to be transparent from the beginning. You know, a lot of people, like when he asked me the question of carrying his casket, I said, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to carry your casket because I don't know you. But let's build. But see what I'm saying? When you transparent, you have a starting ground. Because if I said yes and I didn't really feel that way, that's not a true starting ground. So how can we build from somewhere that we really don't even know where we starting from? So yeah, it's to me like being honest and transparent is important. And I think that has even us starting from a transparent starting ground has made us develop a more even better relationship moving forward. So like now it's a continuous friendship that's gonna keep growing and growing. And Ant too, like I knew Ant since high school, and I just see the vision and our visions align. You know, we on the same page, so let's go together. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's really it for me.
So what does success look like to you three? You know, because you know, as young black entrepreneurs, you know, what I'm starting to recognize and starting to realize is that everyone's definition of success is so different. Like for me, like I don't know if success for me would be having the nicest car and the baddest woman and going to Miami and being on somebody's boat, like, or on them. Like I don't know if that's what I deem as successful anymore. Like I think after like going through some of the things I went through during COVID and everything like that, success for me is just being able to wake up every morning and just get you know, smile and see my family and maybe having some kind of legacy follow after me and building a home, like actually having a home, a space that with people who you love and you appreciate and you cherish, and y'all build something. Like, what does success look like for you guys?
Success, to be honest, I used to think that success was about money, man. Like, oh, how much money? Because the average black male in America makes like $47,000 a year, something like that, especially at our age. So I'm like, yo, we have to get money. So last year, you know, I had a good year, whatever, 6 figures. I was like, yo, and I still didn't feel fulfillment or success. Really? No, I just had money. Like, I just made money. So I was like, when I realized that success to me is finding your purpose and impacting people's life with that purpose through the process. I talk about that in my book. That's what success is to me. So leaving a legacy, impacting as many people and touching as many people as possible. So if I go to a school and I speak to 50 kids, I might not be able to touch all 50 kids. But if I could touch 3 kids in there, I feel like I've made an impact. And that's what success looks like, passing it down to the next generation. And also family, taking care of your mom, sisters, and stuff like that. So I don't really think money defines success. I think it's about how many people you can impact and how you impact them, and are you doing it the right way. That's what success looks like to me. So
yeah, success to me is, I think it's like self-manifestation, really coming to a point where you know who you are and realizing your full potential. You get what I'm saying? And I think the money just follows naturally after that, you know. And I'm starting to pray for more things like, God, remove pride from my life, make me more humble, make me remove greed from my life, you know what I'm saying? Not, God, give me $1 million, because once I pray for patience, the money follows automatically, because I'm patient enough to wait for the right deal now. You get what I'm saying? So those things is what I think is true success, is really realizing your full potential, and like Ant said, impacting people, because once you realize your full potential, you can help others realize their full potential. So yeah, so impacting as many people as possible. And for me also, I want to be truly in love, man. I want to find that right woman that I could build, you know what I'm saying, lead a big family. Like that's my definition of success too.
Yeah. It would have been hard for me. I just got back to Staten Island in September 2021 after leaving for 10 years. And it would have been hard for me to really see myself rooted back in Staten Island if it wasn't for Ant. I say relationships are the greatest form of wealth.
Facts.
And I knew he was a different kind of breed, just knowing him over the years. And so my definition of success has to do with our summer 2016, which was my rookie year of professional basketball. I got with him and we trained, and it got me a overseas contract. It got me the opportunities that I have. So I would say for me, success, you know, rest in peace, Kobe. But with the Mamba mentality, he says, the Mamba mentality is a constant quest of being the best version of yourself. And right now, being the best version of myself is by investing in relationships and the people who I love and those who are around me. So that's my definition of success.
I love that. I love that. I want to touch on something that Jason said. You said that you've been praying to remove pride out of your life and remove greed out of your life, and pay for patience. You know, something I've recognized over the last couple of years is that the way that sometimes God recognizes those things is by putting you in those positions to act. So for example, I'd be like, yo, I want to pray. I pray for patience, and then what would happen is I'd have people test me every single day, or I'd work in a job. And you know, especially places like on Staten Island, there's a lot of like, structural racism. There's a lot of mediocrity in people in positions of power. There's a lot of people who are in positions that shouldn't be in those positions. And there's a lot of like things that impact people that no one really talks about, or because they're just trying to make a living. You know what I mean? Let's just call it what it is. A lot of people just trying to survive. They're trying to make a living. There's not a lot of economic opportunities for a lot of people as much as they should be here. A lot of people go work in the city, etc., etc. So what I started noticing is like I'd pray for, patience, and I'd be tested a lot. So my question is, for the things that you're praying for, are you prepared to handle what the journey and the process of it may look like?
Yeah, man. I think one thing I realized is one of my mottos now is feel the fear and do it anyway. And what I realized is on the other side of fear is freedom. And I love now. I wake up saying I want to embrace the hard things. Like I want to have tough conversations. I want to like be tested. Cause I know that on the other side is gonna be freedom. You get what I'm saying? So I'm ready. And I hope God just gives me the grace to handle it. But I'm ready.
I would just attest to that because I'm a young man who's full of pride. In basketball you gotta have pride, and I definitely I didn't know that was his prayers, and I definitely tested Jason in a lot of ways, and he humbled himself, which taught me how to humble myself as well. It taught me that even though we have our differences and we don't know each other as well as we do, give this young man a chance and give me a chance. I got to give myself a chance. So I didn't know that was his prayer. So there you go. That's God kind of showing that you want to be less prideful. Let me give you one of the most prideful people in Staten Island, when it comes to that stuff. And there you go. And now I get to feed off his humility, and it makes me more humble in my ways and all that.
And I'll just say this, Jason, you've done a lot of different things over there. Like I know you as a rapper more than I know you for. I knew you for a very long time. Now that I think about it, I knew you for many years. But
Hot Boys.
Yeah,
I know. Shout out Hot Boys. I remember I was at a party. Cletus don't even know this. I was at a party, yo. He was going crazy. They introduced him and all that. Yo, he being humble right now.
Man, shout out to Hot Boys, man. If you know, that was a beautiful. It's crazy. I guess I gotta now trail back a little bit because you brought that up. But like, that era was just so different. Like it feels different. Like it was like a nostalgic time in just Staten Island history, bro. Because it was like, bro, for the first time, like that was like one of my first times really building a quote unquote community. Because like I was like, you know what? Like why can't there's all the people in party gangs. There's all the people that was just athletes. Like why can't we put like all the most popular people I know that are men, that are respectful men together and see what happens and let's support each other. And bro, we was outside going crazy, bro. That joke was crazy. But Jay, like I said, like yo, I know you as a rapper, bro. And what made you want to pivot out of that? Like what made you want to go into more of the entrepreneurial route?
Yeah, I mean, to be very honest with you, I was an entrepreneur in music, but I just wasn't well grounded. And I think the music industry, I think God was saving me from myself. You know what I'm saying? The music industry is a dark place. You really got to know yourself to really survive in it. And I don't think that was my time. I don't think I was ready at that moment to really see, to really experience true success at that very time. I think I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I think I would have lost focus of who I was. And plus at that time I wasn't really sure in my identity. So in pivoting, I kind of now got more closer to my identity, who I really am. So when I get back in the music industry, because I'm planning to go back, I want to start my own label, you know what I'm saying? I want to build my own brand and sign artists and blow them up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just really know who I was. I didn't know who I was. Yeah.
And as a black young entrepreneur, I just want to tap in and show love to my bro Chris Richardson. He just tapped into the live. He's trying to open up a black bar and grill on Staten Island.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
How do y'all feel about that? Like, how do y'all feel about the opportunities that may lay dormant on Staten Island that people might not just take? Because I think I guess the best way to say it, there really isn't an infrastructure for us in place. Like, for us, like, we're kind of operating like 20, 30, maybe 100 years back trying to create a business here.
They're trying to catch up.
We're playing a huge catch-up game.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about, forging a path and trailblazing, and how do you what are some advice that you can give, because you guys are all trailblazers in your own right, that you could give to that man who's trying to start that business?
Yeah, honestly, I would see. I'm looking at Jason. I'm not gonna hold you, because I've seen it done in Buffalo with Trevette and you. I've seen the success over in Michigan. What I've done, they've seen my work. I've seen it with Ant and Onyxx, Be Vibrant. I'm really looking at Jason to. This is why I went to the network at Trevette, because he believes in something that I have some doubts on, that it could be done in Staten Island. And so when Ant told me that Jason pulled up the way he did through the power of the Holy Spirit, I'm like, I'm willing to give this a shot. I wanted to test this young man, because I seen him during Mozzie, you know what I'm saying? I seen him during his glow up phase, you know what I'm saying? So we was watching. Again, I told him his music helped me find my birth identity. When Shorty know about my government. I didn't know since I was born in foster care, they changed my government name. And so listening to his music over the years, he didn't know people was listening. It helped me understand that I got to go find my government. And eventually I did. And so I'm really looking at Jason when it comes to a lot of it. And I'm backing him up. I say he's the leader of this one. Let me back him up to know that he has the power, the zeal, the zest, and the plan. Like, he's not. He came with the paper. So I'm really looking at him when it comes to this, and I'm here to support him and back him up in any way I possibly can by throwing my resources in the table. Like, yo, we got people in Texas that I know. I'm willing to people in upstate New York. I'm willing to know. Let's do this things the right way, because I trust him and I trust his fellowship with God as well. So I'm pioneering this to Jason right here, because I've never seen it done. I've seen it done, like I said, in Buffalo, upstate, in Michigan, all other places. Staten Island is the one place that it's very hard to get it done.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I feel you, like, because I even when I was speaking with him about like fundraising and trying to figure out ways to get capital, a lot of those issues is tough. Like, a lot of people don't got money to put towards that, or are afraid to do so, or they don't see it. Like, I feel like a lot of people that I talk to these days, like, when I ask them how they doing it, like, I'm taking a day at a time. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the entrepreneurs and a lot of these people who are like these bosses, like, they not playing it a day at a time. They playing in it 10 years at a time. 15 years at a time. So it's like, for me, what worries me sometimes is like, I think the opportunities are definitely there, but there's so many reasons to kind of like not do it that overshadows people from actually doing things. So the advice I gave him is like, yo, like, let's utilize all the resources. Let's reach out to as many people as possible. Let's really put in the work. You got to this point because you're talented and you're gifted, and you are willing to do something that no one else is. People are gonna want to support it, and there's a market for it. But now we gotta really have the infrastructure in place and just do what we can do with what we got.
You're crazy until you do it, man. Everyone's idea is crazy until you actually do it. Like, I remember Jeff Bezos. He quit his job. I forgot what he was doing, but he quit his job to start Amazon, and he started in his basement, I believe. And then people were saying, "Yo, this man's crazy. Like, he got good money. He's making 6 figures. He's to support his family, whatever." And my man said, "Nah, I'm gonna go my basement and start the biggest company ever." And people were like, "Amazon? No, come on, man. Nobody cares. No one. That's not gonna happen." And look at him now. So my advice to his name is Chris, right? Chris is just to do that shit, man. Just do it, man. And a lot of people, there's gonna be a lot of hate, a lot of doubt, it's part of the process, man, and you have to endure that, because it's gonna be beauty at the end. So whatever he's doing with the bar, just do it, man, and don't stop and keep pushing, man. That's all I can say for him.
That's a fact.
That's coming from one of NYC's top marketers right here. He did the right thing, yeah.
That's a fact.
No, they can remain humble all they want, but I'll be they spokesman when it comes to this. These individuals, again, doing it what they did in Staten Island. I didn't do it in Staten Island. I did it in Michigan and Buffalo.
Yeah.
They've done it in Staten Island. That's tough. That's one of the toughest markets. Like, now I'm getting my master's in organizational leadership because I believe that they believe. I'm getting motivated off them. They're the ones that did things in Staten Island. I came down during George Floyd and during 2020, and I came down to support Onyxx Be Vibrant. He was already killing the game. I'm selling my books upstate. And that's a difficult transition to do, because it's like, you haunted and traumatized by what has happened here in Staten Island, that a lot of things can't be done. We don't have the infrastructure. Now we're creating it. We don't have the mentors. Now we're seeking them out. We like this community that we have, us three people who have never seen this before, but it's possible as long as we believe that it's still possible. That God don't make mistakes. If He put the idea in our minds and in our hearts, then it can be done. It's still possible.
How do you guys develop discipline? Because to be an entrepreneur, obviously you have to be super disciplined. And it's tough, bro. Like for me, as an entrepreneur, like I've been getting away. I wouldn't say I'm getting away, but I've been leaning on the graces of God and the fact that I'm very savvy and personable. That's really my bread and butter. I could talk my talk. I'm very savvy. I'm very personable, and I know a lot about a lot of different things. And obviously, just God's favor. But there's a level of discipline that I have not yet mastered, like that I just haven't gotten to. And my question for you all is like, how have you guys developed discipline so that you can be successful in the business endeavors that you guys are pursuing?
Discipline. How I stay disciplined. People even ask me the question of like, how can you go so many years without smoking, drinking, and just staying disciplined without going to those negative activities? I would say, I feel like it's about how bad do you really want it. The way I look at it is, if you have a goal and you have a goal set and you want to accomplish something in 40 days, that one day that you party and that one day that you drink, that might set your goal back another year. One day off of slacking will set your goal back another year. And the crazy thing about it is you don't know how close your goal is. You might be one day away, and then that one day you go outside and you smoke and drink, might throw you off track. And now you're a year back, thinking, oh, damn, I was so close, and you didn't even know you was that close. So discipline to me is like, how bad do you want it? Like how bad do you want to be successful? That's really what it comes down to. Do you really want it, or are you just saying that you want it? If you really want it, you're gonna have to be disciplined. You have to shut off certain things. You have to cut off a lot of people. You're gonna have to hurt feelings. You're gonna have to just stay disciplined to yourself. And the key to discipline is more so is like, sometimes I feel like it's also the way you're raised. Yeah. Growing up, I'm Nigerian. He's Nigerian. He's Haitian. You're Nigerian. My dad, discipline was like the number one thing. It was on my ass every day. Like there was no time for slacking. Discipline is instilled in the culture since we were young. It's in our brain. Something that we can never get rid of. So I feel like it's also how you were raised as well. But like I said, I really think it comes down to how bad you want it. If you really want it bad, you'll stay disciplined no matter what. So
yeah, and just to add on to what Ant's saying, I got some practical ways for anybody to practice discipline that I be using. First is moving slow, moving very slow in your movements, and second is waking up early. That's how you could build discipline. Third is cold showers. I don't know. I don't do cold showers anymore, but I splash cold water on my face. But just doing something uncomfortable every day that that you don't want to do, whether it's you come home tired and you have to go to the gym, or you just take a cold shower, or you have a tough conversation. Just doing something tough or something unpleasant every day can build that discipline practically.
Oh yeah, and I wanted to add in something I think about discipline is being real with yourself.
Yeah.
So some people, I talk about this in my book. I think it was chapter 4, and I use the gym as an example. And I say if you go to the gym on January 1st, the gym is packed, hundreds of people, everyone got a goal, and then everyone's going 7 days a week. Realistically, if you haven't went to the gym in 1 year, you're not going to maintain that pace of going 7 days a week. Eventually, you're gonna quit. So if somebody that goes 2 days a week for like a month and then moves up to 3, moves up to 4, will probably stay more disciplined and finish. And by the end of the year, they'll be in the gym. More likely than that person that started the gym on January 1st and was going crazy, going 100 miles per hour, 7 days a week. So I feel like being disciplined is also being real with yourself and knowing what you can do. Some people have unrealistic expectations, like, oh, I'm gonna go drop 40 pounds in January. That's not realistic, and you're not gonna be disciplined enough to do that. You have to do things in small increments. Yeah. So that's why I feel like it's also a key to discipline. So
yeah, this is shout out to Napoleon Hill Foundation. This is called the principle 3 feet from gold. Right. This is where I know these Ant and Jason are disciplined because they have results. They have results. They didn't give up during the process. And the way I trusted Ant, like back when I was in college, he calls me one time and is like, "Yo, meet me in my backyard at 6 a.m." I show up like 6:15. Okay. I show up at 6:15. I realized Ant works hard. I'm a hard worker. Like I do work and I do it hard. But with Ant, he showed that the work that he puts in excuse me, I probably butchered it a little bit, but he does what, like I do work and I work at it hard. He does hard work, meaning to get up at 6 a.m. on a summer night, on a summer morning is very hard to do it. That's discipline. But I learned that to feed off of him, to know that, hey, if I get up early, I can beat my competition early as an athlete, just as an athlete. All I did was transition that athletic ability to my business, and I'm like, oh, I put 2 and 2 together, and they get the same result. And so that's how I stay disciplined. So ultimately, the one word, if I say one thing about discipline, get an accountability partner. Accountability is the key, literally, to doing the right thing, not the wrong one. Because the boy could call you up and say, hey, let's go parlay, let's go chill. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to succeed in your goals, you're going to have to give that up and make that sacrifice so that you can remain accountable.
Yeah, and I also learned discipline from Ant too, because I asked him a question. I said, yo, what's the difference between me waking up at 2 p.m. to go to the gym and you waking up at 6 p.m., but then I mean 6 a.m., but I realized it really is that discipline factor. It's hard to get up at 6 a.m. It's not hard to get up at 2 p.m. You know, so I actually learned that from him too, and he's actually one of the most disciplined people I know, to be very honest with you. So and I think to be successful, that's probably the number one trait that sets people apart from each other: discipline and sexual discipline. As a man, can we touch on that real quick, because that's even 10 times harder. But if you could control yourself sexually, I think you control anything. I think you can control anything. Me personally.
I agree, because in summer 2016, actually, summer 2016, if you know, I went to Monroe College that summer. I played basketball there, and how it happened was Schwartzen calls me. Me and Schwartzen always been close, but we didn't speak for a while. And he called. My dad he was doing Uber at the time, and he met a recruiter at Monroe, and he was like, "Oh, my dad's tall. He's like 6'5", and he's like, "Oh, you have any kids? You kids that play sports?" My dad, "Yeah, I have a son. He played at CSIM. Played basketball, very athletic." So he just showed him videos, and the guy was like, "Dang, your son got talent. I want him to come to Monroe and work out for us." And I was already removed from the game for like a year and a half already after high school. And then I called Schwartzen, and Schwartzen actually calls me that, like, maybe that same day. And it's ironic how it happened, because me and Schwartzen haven't spoke for weeks. And he's like, "Yo, bro, what's going on, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I just got a call. They want me to come to Monroe College. I haven't touched a ball in like a year and a half. Like, this is crazy." He's like, "Bro, I'm coming home for the summer. I'm going pro. You got to go to college. Come on." Because Schwartz is older than me. So I was like, all right, listen, we're going to do it then. We went 40 days straight discipline, no sex, no girls, no parties, nothing. In the height of the summer, like, this is summer 2016. Everyone said that's the best summer. Everyone said that's the best summer. And I did not. Yeah. And I didn't touch. I literally stayed disciplined for 40. We went 40 days straight, 3 days a week. Morning, afternoon, and night. And I was like, I told the recruiter, I was like, "Yo, just give me a month. I'm going to come to your workout and we're going to see what's up." So we went 40 days straight, me and him, literally 40 days straight. We thought we were doing the right thing. Now that I'm a therapist, if I understand the body, we was bugging out, actually. Yeah, we was young. And I'm like, all right, so let's do this. We went 40 days straight, and that shows how far discipline can get you. 40 days straight, I went to a Monroe workout. That's a Division I JUCO and all that. And Schwartzen came with me. I dominated the workout, and they offered me, a scholarship or a part of the team right then. And then I was like, all right, cool. And that's how I ended up going to play at Monroe College. And I feel like if it wasn't for that discipline from 40 days straight, and I feel like if I took one day off within those 40 days, I probably would have never made that team. And I ended up playing, and I played college basketball, fulfilled my dream. I played college basketball, and I feel like discipline is what got me there, not talent. Like, yeah, I was talented, but the discipline is what really made me get to that point.
So what is discipline to you then? Like, what if you had to define discipline for the people who are listening and watching, what is discipline to you?
Being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Perfect.
Like, the uncomfortable. You think I want to get up at 4 a.m. every day? I still do this to them. I still do this today on Sundays. I get up. Like, it's instilled in me now. I don't want to do that. I want to sleep in. And even when I wrote my book, I would get up early. I would write. And I feel like it's doing the things that you don't want to do, knowing that and just sticking to it. So being comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that's what discipline is.
I would say consistent, sacrificial action.
One more time for the people that...
Consistent, sacrificial action.
Okay. Expound on that. Why is that?
Like just like what Ant said, you have to be consistent. You got to sacrifice. You every day we have choices. You have to make a choice. You're going to either lay up in bed and get up at 2 o'clock like the rest of the world, or you're going to get up at 4 a.m. and get ahead of the game. Especially we live in New York and we come from Staten Island. We already got we already got everything against us. And we black. First of all, we black. Like, let me just say that. Yeah. We come from a borough that's neglected from the rest of the city. They call us Color Jersey. They call us forgotten. We got this cloud over us. We already got pride before we even hit the pavement. And then so to get the ground running and consistent, make that sacrifice and make an action every single day. What's one action that you can start right now, today, tomorrow morning, when you get up, wake up and make up your bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make up your bed. After you make up your bed, you hit your knees and you say a prayer and say, thank you for waking me up today, God. Like simple everyday thing. After that, go in the bathroom, go brush your teeth. After that, go in pray some. For me, I pray worship music. Get in your music, get in your flow, get in your dance. Do what it is that you need to do in order to be the best version of yourself. Yes. That is what discipline means to me. Those little everyday actions.
And I want to quote Miles Monroe too. He said, "There are many great people that go on the road of life, but they go offshore from a lust or a craving." And the only way to conquer that is discipline. There's so many great people that have fell because of discipline, bro. Because they made one mistake. Samson in the Bible, Solomon, like not even biblical people, even real life celebrities. Impregnating the wrong woman, doing things, you know what I'm saying? Discipline, bro. Narrows the way. You gotta have a narrow life that only you could fit in it. Like you gotta literally, you gotta squeeze, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be tunnel vision, but it's discipline, man. It's discipline. It's key.
I love it. Now, for those who are just tuned in, y'all tuned in to Talk Ain't Cheap podcast, also by yours truly, Mr. This Movie Police Real Talk. I got special people with me, and we've been talking about some real deep stuff, fellas. Like, I guess my next question is really about your mentality. How do you deal with your mental health in entrepreneurship? Because, you know, entrepreneurship is a very lonely battle sometimes. It's an uphill journey that sometimes only you will understand and go through for a lot of these times. You know, luckily you guys have a community, but there's a lot of solopreneurs that are, you know, going through this process. How have you been all able to deal with your mental health and actually like mentally take care of yourselves?
I'm gonna keep mine short. I mean, because then my brothers was there when I had my mental breakdown.
Tell me your experience, man.
I had a real mental. I mean, an actual mental breakdown where I thought when they pulled up, I thought we was being nuked. Like that's how bad my mental health was, in the sense of like. People who I could trust, who are out there caring for me, they're rounding up the troops to try to get me to make sure I'm all right. And I'm like, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm going to the Bible. I'm thinking the world is ending. I was reading too much Book of Revelations. I was going through it. I really thought they was here to bomb me. No joke. I know it's funny now. We looking back. But I ended up going to the hospital. and I ended up having to take, they gave me some pills. I used to be on Ritalin when I was young because I have ADHD. And I'm also diagnosed with BPD, and my mama has schizophrenia. So we're talking real, these are not play like ADD, kind of OCD. These are real physiological things of the brain that the brain matter now is subjected to, that I do my homework on, and I have some key answers that I can't release yet until I finish my dissertation piece. And to know that stuff is real, gray matter in the brain is actually a real thing, because of trauma, what I call OVA, overly vulnerable amygdala, which is a part of the brain that controls your fear, your worry, and your anxiousness. It's chemicals being released in the brain that develops when you're a child, the same way you put your hand on the stove and you pull it back. That's the amygdala in the nervous system telling you to pull back from that fear, from that, exactly. Psychology calls it fight or flight, right? And there's there's certain fight, flight, or freeze, really. You know, because if you have no feeling in your hands, you can put it there and you freeze and you realize there's no feeling there because the nervous system is shut down. And so there's aspects of mental health that I'm learning right now. What practical ways am I doing to substitute that? I got to sign a therapist, so I'll shout out to my therapist, Victoria. Also, I have another therapist. Shout out to my therapist, Joyan, who is part of BlackMenHeal.org. That's a free resource for black men to understand their own therapy and their therapy journey. He's also he is certified in therapist, and he has masters in social work. So these are real professionals that I'm getting real help from. My insurance pays for it. My other therapist. So I go to therapy right now. and also what's helping me in my well-being. Before I wasn't dating. Not right now. I am dating a young lady. You know, I won't say her name, but you know, she does go to my church, and it's helping my spiritual journey when it comes to me, so I don't go over the top. Look with the world ending because my brothers want to pull up on me because they care for me. Because that's what I really thought. I thought the world was ending, and I wanted them in the church that bad that I was willing to forsake all just to get them in the church, and that ended up not being the case because we still here right now. So.
And by the way, thank you for sharing. I know, like, you know, that's a very vulnerable, you know, topic, and you know, I appreciate you just being transparent and feeling that this is a safe space. So I'm glad we're able to do that.
Yeah, for me, like my mental health, I'll be very honest. I spoke to Schwartzen, like I felt really lonely lately. Lately, I've been feeling lonely, and I was having a conversation with one of my employees, and she was like, "Yo, a lot of people wait till they have $1 billion to be happy, or wait till they get a job to be happy, or that to be happy." But why not be happy now? And I thought about it. I was like, what am I putting off that's not making me happy? Or why do I feel lonely? And I think it's because I've said to myself, my priorities are God, my vision, myself, and if a wife comes, a wife comes. But I've been like kind of putting that off, like thinking that let me get to this pinnacle before I search for a wife. But maybe I want that now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got to start searching. So maybe I got to start grabbing the bull by the horn now, so I could be happy. So if that means me pursuing somebody, not saying I'm going to take it serious and marry her now, but at least just express myself. Hey, I'm feeling you. Let's go on a date. Let's talk. Let's converse. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important to deal with your mental health. I think it's important to identify what you really want as right now in this present moment, and just start taking some steps to even do that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that can combat your mental health. That's just my person.
Yeah, mental health is actually a serious thing. I didn't end up in the hospital, but I kind of had a mental breakdown. So last year, my cousin, she was only 50, which was my mom's first cousin, which is basically like, they're like sisters. They grew up, lived in the same household their whole life. And her son is my age, and we're like, that's my closest family member. So she passed away unexpectedly. My mom had a hysterectomy. She had a major surgery. She was out of work for 8 weeks. And then my girl, I was with for 5 years, she left me. So this all happened, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, sheesh. My mental health is messed up, man. I was going through it. And that's when I actually wrote my book. And that was like an outlet for me. Then also, Schwartzen and Jason will also check up on me. So I feel like another big part of mental health is the importance of brotherhood. Men actually, there's a higher rate in suicide in men. And I feel like a lot of it actually stems from breakups, actually. And I feel like a lot of men don't have a strong-knit brotherhood or a close-knit brotherhood where they can reach out to their brother and be like, yo, dang, I'm tweaking right now. Like how Schwartzen had his breakdown, and what if he never showed up? What could have happened that night? Because he was wailing out. So what if we never showed up and something, he could have did anything, ran his car into something. If we never showed up and never showed him support and love, who knows what would have happened? The same thing with me. I was going through it. And my mom, my sisters were there. Schwartzen and Jason checked up on me. And this is the girl that was going to be my wife. Over 5 years. Bought her car, everything. I was going to propose. Like, you know, I was going to build my life. I was building my life with her. And then something I learned from this, including my mental health, was that you can't put your happiness in somebody else. And that's something that I really learned. I was putting my happiness in her. I was working hard for her. Like, I could take care of her. I could do this for her. I'm building with her. She can be the mother of my kid. And I'm not even worried about myself. When she left me, I didn't even know who I was. I didn't even know who I was. Like, I knew who I was, but I didn't know I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know who I was. And that's what really took a toll on my mental health. I'm like, damn, now that she left, who am I? What do I do without her? All my whole life, for 5 years, basically, all I knew was her. She was there when I was in college playing ball. She was there when I started school to be a therapist. She was there when I, when I got a job as a therapist. She was there when I moved out of my parents' crib. She was there through all like the major steps of my life in my 20s. So now she left me when I was 26, I'm like, dang, now I'm 26, and since I was 21, she was there. So now that's like my mental health is messed up because that's someone that you come home. Imagine you have someone that you speak to every day. You come home to, you talk to her. Now you go home and it's lonely. Now you're looking at 4 walls and nobody's there. The same bed that you sleep in with her every day, she's gone. Same person, as soon as I hear good news, I call her up on the phone. I'm like, yo, guess what? I got a job, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? This and that. Guess what? Schwartzen went pro. That was like all my happiness came from her. And when she left, my mental health was messed up, man. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who I was. And now that I'm single, obviously, I'm learning who am I. I'm learning who I am. I wrote a book. I'm getting back in basketball, training Schwartzen. And I realized, like, you can't put your happiness in somebody else. So that's my take on mental health, to be honest.
Thank you for sharing that. So how did you? So what is happiness now to you? You know, like you said that you had to kind of find yourself. How did you find yourself? And now, what do you define as happiness? Like, where do you find your happiness?
Happiness to me is, to be honest, is accomplishing everything that I want to do, which I know it sounds crazy, and Schwartz always tell me I'm a nut, man. To be honest, is like I'm more of like accomplishing goals, doing what I want to do makes me happy. Like nothing else makes me happy than setting out something for myself and actually doing it, and doing it for myself, not for somebody else. So, and also impacting people, that makes me happy as well. So, yeah, that's what really it comes down to for me, to be honest. So.
And I'll extend the question to everybody, you know, how have you found yourself during your processes, and how have you been able to define your happiness, or what is happiness to you?
I think right now, as I'm still on medication, I'm maintaining balance, and it's important for me to maintain balance instead of like consuming just what I think is happening, but what's actually happening. A lot of times we tell ourselves a certain narrative that fits our truth, but it's not the truth. There's an objective truth that goes around that this is actually what's happening. Like in my mind, when they came and picked me up, I was right in front of the thing. I actually thought I was gonna die. I actually thought something was going on. Actually, I believed the lies of Satan. Let me put it. I believed the lies that were being told in my mind at that moment. I went 5 days with no food, and 3 days with no water. The brain takes up 25% of the calories of the body's intake. The brain needs things to function. So where is it going to pull from? It's going to pull from the fat matter in the brain. And in order for the brain to be fed, it needs food. And I didn't eat any food. What makes me happy is that balance, is maintaining that balance, that understanding, like to be present, fully present. Where I don't know everything, and I don't pretend to be. I know, in fact, I know nothing. And that's the good news, that my Lord and Savior God, Jesus Christ, He knows it all. He knows what's happened before it happens. He understands the struggle in which we all go through. And so for me, to continually sacrifice myself for the good news of the gospel, that's what makes me happy, that to continue to spread love. Love is my religion, to continue to spread the good news and to share love. And the ambiance is like this, that we all get to talk. We successful. Me and you the exact same age. They 26 years old, 27. Yeah, we all, we're us doing this. Dang, there should be the next 30 under 30, all four of us. There's no reason why we shouldn't. Exactly. So, but even if that never comes, I'm okay, because I'm content with the life that God has given me. So remain content in that.
Yeah, what's said for me is applicable to me too, just being present in the moment. And really, I think happiness comes, like I said before, just grabbing things by the bullhorn, like that you want now. So like if I felt empty, I was like, what am I missing? I feel like I want to be pursuing a woman. Okay, start asking that girl on that date that you want, instead of trying to put it off. So identifying what you want now and taking it by the bullhorn. You want money? Go start a business. Start a business now. That's going to make you happy. If you want a woman, go pursue one. If you want to lose weight, if you want to gain muscle, go to the gym. Start doing things that make you happy, meaning take action, execute. Just start. Do something. You know what I'm saying? And the happiness will follow. You get what I'm saying? I
love that a lot. I definitely believe that inaction is definitely one of the things that hold a lot of people back. I feel like sometimes we've been taught to kind of plan things out and be strategic. Because just call us, keep it frank, like to be young, black, talented, from Staten Island, probably didn't come from the best situations, family structures, etc. Like we can't sometimes afford to take the risks that others may just take wholeheartedly with no thoughts and no consequences of failure. Like for us, we have to kind of take in consideration what may happen. We have to take consideration that if I take this risk and if it fails, this is a major setback. It's not one of them setbacks that like, oh, okay, it happens, let's just build to the next. Like with us, I feel like because we don't have everything that we would the best structures that we would want or need, we have to be super strategic about the moves that we make versus just doing it. So that's why I like what you said about inaction, because yeah, bro, like a lot of people really psych themselves out before they even begin. Straight up. Like especially in entrepreneurship. Like I really believe that, we're going back into that era where people have businesses, or if they worked a job, they were really working it because they were learning from their job with hopes to potentially start their own. They're not just complacent working in a situation, etc., etc. So I believe that those type of spaces that we're getting back into it, but it's that mindset that I think needs to be reversed. Like we have to kind of reverse engineer our minds, and with the way that the world is developing, technology and everything, things are changing so fast. And I don't think our family, like our parents and their generation, really have seen something like this before to kind of advise us on how to maneuver around it. So
what I think it is obviously fear, but people are afraid to take the risk because they don't know what the result is gonna look like. If you put a job application out right now and say, yo, if you start this job today and knowing that you hate it, you'll get $150,000 a year. Everyone's going to show up at that door knocking. I'm ready to start today. But when you have a business, it's like you don't know the result. You don't know what's going to come at the end of it. You might start it and might fail. Most businesses fail within their first 5 years. It's real. Even when I started Onyxx and everything, I didn't know what it was going to be. And there's days that I sell things and they don't sell. And there's things that I sell things and they sell it in one day. So it was like people are afraid of the result. They don't know that's what's going to be there. So people they want something that's guaranteed. And when you are in entrepreneurship, nothing is guaranteed. Your business can fail anytime. And most people, like I said, they just want stability, want comfortability, and they want, because even me, I want to be comfortable. Like I want to know where my next paycheck is coming. That's me. I agree with most people, but then at the end of the day, you have to take that risk if you want to get to the next step. And the other side of fear is success. And if you don't take that leap, you'll never know. So I feel like just people need to get out that comfort zone of being comfortable and just become uncomfortable with being comfortable. So that's how I look at it.
Just to add the faith-based part, where it talks about faith in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the substance of things not yet seen. And so a lot of times when we take a leap of faith, we were going off of hope. And hope, that's not really a tangible thing, but really in the Christian world it's something that's a mustard seed. You can't see the mustard seed on by face value, but a mustard seed can still plant a tree that's going to yield fruit in its due season. But you can't plant the seed and then keep checking it. You're uprooting the soil, it's never going to grow. And so just to put it a little, again, faith-based piece to it, what Ant was saying, and when it comes to that, is the faith-based piece. You don't know. But if you have the same way you would go to a job resume, you would bring your resume, that's called evidence. You have the evidence of being able to execute this job. So if you believe in yourself, that means you have some kind of result. I know these were two successful entrepreneurs because they had result, and now we're just backing up what we're doing, F.B.F, what we're doing as together. We're just backing it up with some belief and now some extra kick on it. So that's how we're getting it done.
What's up, my brother?
So I guess I try not to say like my final question, but I guess just to wrap it up, where do you see F.B.F going, and what are some of the goals that you guys want to accomplish through F.B.F, and then short term, medium sized goal, and then long term goals?
I think really we want to start hosting events, and in the short term, and I think the long term play is to maybe tour the world in terms of impacting people's lives on a
Bigger scale.
Yeah, on a bigger scale. So if we could sit in front of 150,000 people and talk like we talking now, because this is still a powerful what we doing. It's the same thing as talking to 150,000 people. Doesn't matter if there's one person on your podcast. That one person could change millions of lives because they impacted from, you know what I'm saying? So to us, it's really about just speaking our heart and just whatever we went through, just using our story to just change somebody's life for the better, so they could just be set the right way. You know what I'm saying? That's really, and yeah, that's it.
and this is one of our first meeting that we had. Even though I came in there guns blazing and all that, saying who gonna carry my casket and all that. There was one thing. There was one thing that they did respect, and I talked about the foster care system. And I talked about how much improvement that thing needs. And I said there's less than 500,000 kids across America in foster care. And they said, God has given you the vision, Schwartzen, then we can back that up. That's something that God has given me when it comes to foster care. I was sexually assaulted in foster care, got through some trauma, through abuse. You know, mom's left me at 1 year old. I was found in poop. My brother was 2. You know, she lost, she got a kid that's in jail right now. She got a kid who's dead right now. And she got the other kid, her oldest son, my oldest brother from my mom's side, is over in Oakland. He's doing something with the foster care system there. So me and Ben, I'm the youngest. I implore my brothers to back me up when it comes to this, to want to improve the foster care system. And so in June, God willing, we'll be able to go upstate New York and reach the foster care agency. It's called the Foster Can Awareness Group. And we'll be able to impact them. And like Jason said, hopefully God willing, before the end of the year, we'll do a big event to implore and educate young entrepreneurs who are also in our season, or maybe even younger, who want to explore business, who want to explore leadership, who want to explore marketing, and be able to give them the right keys and nuggets the way we all did it successfully and did it the right way. Because Onyxx donated so much clothes during the pandemic that you don't see that kind of love being brought. And he could have used it for profit, but he did it all not-for-profit. He's not even not-for-profit. So to highlight little individual key things like that, I'm like, that's a team I want to be a part of, and I'm glad to call that brother my brother.
All right, what about you, Ant? What are some, goals that you have for F.B.F.?
Right now, small goals. Right now, we started in churches. We're going to schools. So we're impacting on a small scale right now. But like the major goal is to be, like we all said, worldwide. Be able, different states, maybe countries, and big events, and to impact not even entrepreneurship, but like life, mental health,
everything.
Because we come from a place where we're forgotten, man. That's what it really comes down to.
Honestly,
Even when I speak to people, like, you from Staten Island, I never heard one person say anything good once I say I'm from Staten Island, the conversation shifts automatically. There's not one person that said, "Yo, Staten Island, that's cool. Oh, you're from? Oh, we don't claim Staten Island. This and that." I'm like, all right, cool. Well, now Staten Island gonna be remembered because F.B.F. is coming out of Staten Island. Hey, we putting it on the map, and you heard it here first. We coming for everything. In a positive way though. We're not money hungry. We're here to, obviously money's a part of success, but we're really here to impact on a larger scale. We want to hit everything: schools, churches, foster care systems, protests, wherever it's at, we at. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
All heroes wear capes.
Some of us wear drip. Go read the book.
Drip,
Go read the book. Big Onyxx quote.
Come on, son.
He said, "Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear drapes."
That's a quote of my book, man, by Ant. Big Onyxx, man.
I love it. I love
I
it.
want to say one last thing. Like, I feel like too with F.B.F. it's kind of interesting because we all share a similar pain. You know what I'm saying? He slept in his car. He got cut. He basically got cut from the basketball team. So in terms of, he feel like there's a chip on his shoulder. I got shelved in the music industry. So we all have like a pain that we have that's kind of propelling us forward. And just to share that pain and bring it together and share that pain with other people to encourage them is why the word forgotten is there. You get what I'm saying? And then we come from not only sharing the pain, but the borough is full of pain. This is a dark cloud over this city, man. I don't know what it is, but we gonna, by the grace of God, remove that dark cloud and try to do something together. Yeah.
The right way, though.
The right way.
The right way. No
I,
BS, man.
I think you guys are definitely doing it the right way, and I think the key thing that's bringing y'all together is that community. Staten Island's communities has been under attack for a long time. You see with all the things changing, there's gentrification happening, there's people moving in, people moving out, etc., etc. And the difference between what I feel the younger generation is going through and what we going through is I felt like we had more sense of community when we were coming up. There's a lot more after school programs. There was PAL. There's different programs you could be a part of. There was step program on the weekends. There was all these different things, and I'm sure that they probably might still exist. I don't know, but there was a lot more community engagement. We weren't just on the social medias and on scrolling all day. You had to be outside. You had to be at unity games. You had to be at the march-a-thons. You had to be around, moving around and doing stuff to really kind of have a sense of belonging. And I feel like little by little we are being isolated from each other. So the goal is definitely eventually to keep building community. I feel like especially as black men we need each other more than ever. I feel like we don't leverage leverage the power of each other enough. And the minute that we do, the day that we do, the world will change. You know, this.
Together, man. They know when we get together.
When we organize, bro, we've seen it happen time and time again. What happens when black men and black people organize? From Black Panthers to Martin Luther King Jr., Nation of Islam, just Mansa Musa, the 5%ers in different parts of Philly and Harlem. Like just in general, when black people come together with a common goal, or just when point blank period, when people come together with a common goal, with a direction, with charisma, energy, and passion, bro, things change. Our biggest contribution to this world, outside of just being black and being the first people on this earth, is legit our cultural impact. Like culture moves mountains, and we own culture, but we don't financially own and benefit from culture. The things, like, you understand, just basic principles of entrepreneurship starts in the hoods. Taking little and making it stretch, and being able to survive off of limited resources and access.
I like that. That's a nugget right there.
So it's like the opportunities are there. You know what I mean? I always say it all the time. The ghettos and the hoods are the biggest incubators. They're the biggest think tanks, because out of nothing, we're seeing people like Wu-Tang and all these different roads. Like, bro, there's people from Stapleton Projects that pursuing PhDs, and there's people that are able to make a lot of things happen with nothing. So if we take the same principles and concepts that we have in these environments that nothing is supposed to grow in, and apply it to business where people are starting legit with nothing and growing it, the sky's the limit. And opportunities are endless. Like they always say, like the street game and the way that the business of the streets operate and the way that the business at the top and corporate operate are very similar. The difference is very similar. The same principles apply. That's why people like 50 Cent, when he got into those positions, like, yo, this is a cakewalk. I don't gotta shoot nobody. I don't gotta worry about getting shot. I just gotta do what I've been doing. I gotta still be a gangster the way I was a gangster before. The difference is I don't have to worry about being shot in the hood, dead on the street. So, like I said, I commend you brothers for doing what y'all doing. What are some things that you all need in order to make your vision come to life? Like, what resources do you think that you're looking for, or what kind of things do you really need in order to make what you're trying to make happen?
Yeah. Ant just came out with his first book, so I'm really pushing that. It's called
13 Principles for the 13 Principles for the Black Man.
The 13 Principles for the Black Man.
For the Black Man, yeah. Exactly.
So right now we're trying to push that into school. My book has been in schools already, has been part of the Boys and Girls Club. I really want to see, and so I've had my journey. I really want to see 13 Principles of the Black Man be pushed inside these schools now for Staten Island. Before even Be Your Own Hero, I want to see that, and because we're all going to speak on stages together. Again, like you said, we spoke in churches, but right now we've been doing everything with from our own resources. We're looking to build capital. Of course, by doing that, schools have curriculums and budgets for books. So if anyone out there knows any schools that are looking for educator, like social emotional learning, and individuals who are speakers and authors, well, here's your 3 guys right here, so we can do that. We'll donate our budget, of course, for a fee. So we're looking to really just speak to these schools, speak to these principals, speak to these profit organizations, so that we can do what we got to do in order to help eradicate poverty overall.
Beautiful. So anything else you guys want to touch on? Anything else you felt that we're missing from this conversation?
They can follow us.
Okay, let's do it. Where can they follow you guys if they want to stay connected to your journey and
my Instagram and Facebook is Schwartzen.Precil. Also, my author page is Hero Leadership Group. That's where they can find my social emotional learning development curriculum as well. Also public speaker and also full-time athlete. Starting next week, I'll be in Dominican Republic. So shout out to the DR. I've been training real hard for that. So I'm excited to go. And they can follow that at Pain to Purpose on Instagram.
Yeah, y'all can follow me at Shoneyin, Shoneyin, And y'all can follow also my company First Class Hope. It's First Class Hope LLC on Instagram. Yeah.
So you can follow me at Onyxx Streetwear. So ONYXX_Streetwear. You can follow me at Pain to Purpose, where I train Schwartzen and everybody. So he gave that already, Pain to Purpose. And you can follow me on Facebook at Anthony Fakoya. So Anthony and then space Fakoya. That's it for me,
man. Like I said, thank y'all so much for y'all time. Thank y'all for the vibe. Man, just thank y'all for being a part of this. I'm excited. I haven't done an episode in a little while, and so it's just good to finally get back and get back in the gym, as they say, right? Put some shots up. So this is a good episode. We needed this for the culture. So like I said, thank y'all so much for tuning in to Talk Ain't Cheap, and y'all know by now it's not that deep. It's a vibe.